We are live. All right, we're gonna see if anybody jumps in. Hey, how are you? Look at that. I can show comments. Well, I'm seeing everyone else jumps in, but thanks for jumping in. Hopefully this goes a little better than the last time. Been playing with this SteamYard thing so I can put up comments. I'm seeing everyone else jumps in, but thanks for jumping in. Hopefully this goes a little better than the last time. Been playing with this SteamYard thing so I can put up comments. So how excited are you on hitting that grand? That was an amazing video to watch. So how excited are you on hitting that grand? That was an amazing video to watch. We'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Had to make sure to turn everything down. And a comment from Buckeye Slots. No, everything's going good. I'm just trying to test this thing out and see how it goes, playing with this new studio. So I want to see how it goes. We'll find out. But things are going good. Let's see. I have my mom staying with me for a little bit, so we're doing that. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah, hopefully some more people jump in here in a little bit. It is a Sunday night, so it's starting to snow here in Ohio, and I know it's snowing in Michigan, so not exactly the greatest thing right now. It's cold as hell. Do me a favor, though, if you can, make sure in the comments you drop a link to your YouTube channel. That way, anybody else who maybe comes across this later, they will see your channel and link it and maybe go and watch your stuff and subscribe. That's kind of the main point of this live is I want to give a platform to other people so that they can then share all their stuff. I've seen other channels go live and you interact and you ask questions and stuff, which is fine. That's what this is here too. But I want to give everybody here kind of a chance to expose their own channels and go from there. So please, 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 I will never get mad if you guys share links to some cool videos. If you share links to your own channels, that's kind of why we're here. Well, I'll go ahead and until we get some more people in here, obviously people can watch this later, but I will go ahead and give a couple of updates. We'll start with some Vegas stuff. So MGM has not announced yet the start of their Cosmopolitan ice skate rink. Usually starts after Thanksgiving. They haven't adopted a date yet. I'm still hopeful they'll do it. A couple of hosts at MGM I spoke to said they don't see why they wouldn't, but that was back in July when I spoke to them, so things may have changed. Fontainebleau is still doing it. They've got a really cool setup where they got the pool areas, all skating rinks. They have hot chocolate, popcorn, and other things that they sell there. Because while you're skating, they actually show Christmas shows too. So you can actually go on their website the day you want to go and actually tell you what Christmas stuff is playing, so that if you're there with the family, you can pick a day to go when they're playing a certain movie. It's actually really, really cool. I believe if you're staying there, it's free, 100%. And I believe if you are not staying there, it's like I think it's like either a $20 or $25 admission, if I'm not mistaken. And that way you can skate, get the rental and everything. Let's go ahead and pop that up there. Anybody who maybe wants to watch this later, going to go ahead and flash up her comment here. Please go in there and check out her stuff. She plays a little bit more higher than I do, so she has some really, really exciting videos to watch. So I would highly recommend watching those. Let's see. Another update is if anybody who has been to Vegas before and you used to go years and years and years ago, I know I'm showing my age right now, but you may remember the pirate show that was at the Treasure Island, where they had the live pirate show going on with pyrotechnics and pirates actors dancing and shooting fake guns and sword fighting, etc. They are actually bringing that back. Now, the dates right now is going to be in 2026. It's October 1st through the 4th. They haven't said if it's going to extend past that, and they haven't extended if they're going to be doing it earlier than that. But they have said they do have that 3 or 4 day run for certain that is happening in October 2026. So if you are going to Vegas during that time, I would highly recommend you check that out. I used to see it when I was there many, 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 many years ago. I think they stopped it around, I think 2004, 2005, maybe. I could be wrong, but I remember being there around 2004, and I could see it. So that's the last time I thought I saw they had it. So if you are there, please feel free to check it out. It is very cool. It's one of the few free things on the Strip you can do now that the volcano's gone. Plus, you're close enough to the new Hard Rock where you actually be able to see the new Hard Rock Tower going up. It's about, when I was there in September, maybe 20% done. They were building it out. So I assume by that time, they are expected to open sometime in 2027. The latest update I had seen was that it should be open by fall of 2027. I think they said that they were hopeful it would be summer of 2027, but I doubt they'll make it done by then. But so if you do have the Unity thing with them, I would highly recommend to maybe come in for the opening. I am going to do my best to be there for the opening to film and stay there. I don't really have status with them, but it would be something cool to see and stay there during that first week of them opening. I'm sure it'll be a madhouse. So those are kind of the newest updates I have for Vegas to kind of put out there for everybody. That's what's really going on. So as people enter in here, I'm going to try and go live here until about 8:30. Hopefully I get some more people in. We can hopefully ask some questions. So anybody who is in here wants to drop a question, please do so. Hopefully you have seen my 5 or 6 part series on myths and everything. That's actually gotten some pretty good traction so far. I do like how people have been commenting on it and trying to add their own thing to it. I think it's good when we get a lot of people. Jackpot Annie's done her stuff on TikTok too, which is great. Where she also talks about some things she's seen and player etiquette and stuff. I actually canceled a couple of my videos because she had hit on a few of them. I don't want to feel like I'm kind of on their coattails, so to speak, of trying to follow that. So that's what's going on with those. Hopefully you guys do like it. I'm also trying to play with some new edits. So I put out some new videos, just trying to play with some different types of things with CapCut. Hopefully should be going back to Vegas. I don't know when right now. I'm waiting to find out when my son goes to his boot camp, and then I'll figure out when I can go from there. I don't want to make plans, get plane tickets when I don't know when he's going yet. So most likely the 2 that I'm looking at right now is depending on him, but might be going in towards the middle of January for a couple of days. That's to take advantage of the Caesars 10X. because I would like to try and at least keep my diamond. I don't know if I'll be able to keep my diamond plus like I am now, but at least keep my diamond status. And then for a work trip, my boss and some other people are thinking about going the beginning of March. That's during one of the paving expos because I'm in the paving industry. So that might be a couple of days where I go as well. But I would be curious if you guys let me know if you have seen the daily vlogs, if that's something where I put everything together in like a day 1, day 2, day 3 with an opening, a lot of bonus plays and stuff. So let me know if it's something that you would like to see more of, if there's something that I should be adding to it, or if you just want to see just the actual slot play and everything sort of as a standalone video. I'm still trying to figure the channel out and figure out what I can do that will be more appealing to everybody. So right now things seem to be going pretty well. After before my October trip to Jack's, I was hovering right about 170, 175 subscribers. I think I'm now a little over 212, 213. So I think the lives helped a little bit. People tend to watch a little bit more after it's done. And I think the series I'm doing is pretty good too. So Beach Bum, if you do have some sort of ideas, thank you. If you do have sort of some ideas on things you'd like to see of, maybe things that I haven't thought of, I can do those. I'm going to probably doing a video on VLTs versus the actual class 3 slots, how they work in a racino, if they're video lottery things, so I can do that. And then I'll probably do one explaining volatility a little bit better, so that way you know what you're playing and when you're playing and how you're playing it, sort of how that deals with everything else. So those are a couple of new ones I'll be putting together shortly. But like I said, I'm going to try and figure out some other videos that maybe others haven't covered too much of, but would. I kind of threw up the AI one just as sort of a quick one because I'm just seeing so much of it out there on where it's just bots are putting together AI videos and just putting it out because they're just wanting views. So, the education part. Yeah. Oh, look, I'm still able to do this. Sorry, excited playing with this new feature. But yeah, the education part is kind of why I wanted to do a lot of these channels when I first started, because there are some others out there that do a pretty good job. It's just their audience is a little different. My audience, I want to be more of just your average everyday person, just hanging out, going to the casino for just a couple hours. So I kind of want them to understand what they're getting into. I've had some discussions with other of my followers on TikTok, and based off of their things that they're asking me, I thought it was prudent to make that video because people don't quite understand. Everyone still thinks that the slots are rigged, or that, they can change a button, flip it out, and all of a sudden they've made all the machines hot or made the machines cold. So I wanted to make sure I got that out as well. Again, if you guys are just joining us, please, in the comments as you join in, you'll see Beach Bum Slots did put her channel in there. I would ask everyone to please check her out. So if you are watching this at a later time, please feel free to jump in and check out her videos as well and subscribe to her channel. I would appreciate it. So I'm going to hopefully try and do some more of these lives every single Sunday. Hopefully we get a little bit more traction and more people in here. So that way we can kind of get discussions going, answer questions and things like that, so that more and more of us get a little bit more of exposure out there. And hopefully more and more people see each other's videos, each other's channels, and we'll all start growing a little bit more. But do you have any questions that maybe I haven't answered before, or that you've been curious about, just to kind of kick off the question and answer part until hopefully we find some more people to jump in? Yeah. Good question. I'm going to show my age a little bit, but my first trip is just after I turned 21. to Vegas back in 2001. So I have been gambling for 24 years. Not heavily. I have definitely gotten back into it more steadily, probably over the last 4 years. I didn't really gamble a whole lot, probably in my 30s, just with work and everything else going on. But I really got into the slots pretty good, probably I want to say about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I've always been a casual slot player. I mean, I always gravitated towards top dollars and other things just because I knew those games pretty well. They were always really fun. Never had much luck with the other games out there. So as far as gambling wise on slots, I've been pretty steady over the last 5 years or so. But that's kind of why. Another question. What's your favorite slot? Well, it's no surprise. My favorite slot is going to have to be double top dollar. I do like pinball a lot too. A lot of people are either pinball or top dollar. I'm kind of in the camp of both, but I prefer top dollar, or more importantly, double top dollar. The reason behind that is it's based on the base game of usually double diamond, which is a relatively low volatility game, meaning you're going to get some pretty good hits every once in a while. You know, if you hit cherry, you get your bet back plus 1 credit. So it's really good that way. Bonus rounds come kind of frequently on double top dollar and top dollar. If you look at the math, when you play pinball, the pinball will show up on the line once every 64 spins, typically. That's based on the mathematical average. You can go much more. Top dollar, I think, is 1 in 42, 44, and double top dollar, I think, is 1 in 46. So, again, those are just averages, but that's why I like those games, because 9 times out of 10, I usually hit those probably within, I'd say, between 10 and 30 spins. So it's something that usually comes up, so I can get those bonuses pretty frequently. And like I said, the simple line pays that you do get from the double diamond base game keep me in it a lot longer than if I was playing something else. So those are my 2 favorite ones. If I'm playing high limit, or if I'm not playing high limit, if I'm playing non-real games, my go-to is probably going to be if I just want to hang out, have a drink, smoke a little bit, and just sort of relax and enjoy my time. It's probably going to be, what was that one called? I just did like 2 videos on it. Little Shop of Horrors. That game with the random bonuses that come out of nowhere, just the randoms, cut screens and cuts from the movie. That'll keep you entertained for sure. Absolutely for sure. But if I'm not, I'm just sort of hanging out. Kind of want to say, probably Firelink. That'd be my next best one on that. I think those are, especially the base Firelink games with the free games. Those have usually been pretty good to me, meaning I get at least some line hits. I usually get into the bonus once in a while. It doesn't take my money all the time and just leaves me with nothing. Does it happen? Sure, but not usually as much as that. Kendra. And my wife is making an appearance in the comments. How do you decide when it's time to leave a machine? Okay, well, that is some good question, because I am, unfortunately, after 2 weekends ago, did not follow this advice, but sort of brings up a good question. So if you are in, what makes me decide is when I sit down, I usually have some sort of an idea of my budget. So typically, it didn't happen 2 weeks ago, but typically if I'm into a game and I find myself up, usually at least double what I'm into, I usually set a limit. So like in Vegas, I had one where I was up $100. So I went ahead and said, okay, I'm only going to lose 50 of this. And then either I'm going to hit another bonus, or I'm going to get some more line hits and stay in it, or I'm going to get out. So that's typically how I do it. I want to try and keep those winnings. And then what I do is I evaluate. So if I've been having pretty good luck, if I still have most of my bankroll for the day, and if I am having actual fun with the game, I may stay a little longer with it. But typically I try and balance with at least a little bit of profit there. Okay, do you bring a bankroll or do you just build your bankroll casino? That's an excellent question. So I hear, and I've seen a lot of videos on bankroll building. I always, always, always take a base bankroll with me. If I'm going on a weekly visit, I usually take between $60 and $100 with me. And that's with and including the additional whatever I have from free play. So I try to use just that. I do not bankroll build. I do know there are some games that people say you can bankroll build on. The 3 reel games or the 5 reels that have bonuses on them, like the one that's all 7s. If you get the free games, the red 7s are worth more. Those I found work sometimes for getting a bankroll, but it's like 50-60% of the time it works for me, and that's just not high enough a percentage for me to actually stamp it and say this is probably a good thing to do. It's all luck. So what I do is I go in, if I've got $100 on me and I get some really good spins in and I find myself up $100, $150, then I typically would take that initial money I brought with me and put it away and then play on the winnings of the casino. Then as that gets a little bit higher, I'll figure out what my new stop is and usually take a portion of that, put it back in my pocket, and then play with the rest of the money. Once the money I'm up is gone, I will walk out of the casino. Does it always happen? No. I'm flawed just like everybody else. So sometimes I will leave the casino with less than I had. And it sucks. But typically I will try to do that. That's a really good question. You get a drink. Okay. Well, why don't you share your craziest win? Just so everybody can see it, because I know I think I saw it, but I think it'd be really cool to see you post that. What's your bet size? I stick to 1% rule my bankroll. That's a good rule. For me, my bet size is usually 1 to 2%, and that's depending on the game. And the reason why I say that is sometimes if I want to play very low and steady, I will sometimes jump on a dollar machine that is a 2 or 3 credit max bet, like Double Diamond or Haywire or Triple Stars, just because the hit back frequency it's not always, but tends to be pretty good to where I can grind on that for a while, get some comp points up, typically do enough to where it doesn't hurt me too bad. I think the 1% rule is really, really good to stick to, especially when you're playing your higher volatilities like your Dragon Link, Lightning Links, and things like Huff and Puff and things like that, because they're so high in volatility that it can take 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 plus spins before you get into that lucrative bonus or you even get into a bonus. So that is a really good rule to have. I'm glad you brought that question up because that's really good to stick to, is find out what you want to play with so that way you're not going to the casino, especially if you're driving for a while. You get there and 20 minutes later you're out of money. And then you're kind of like, oh, maybe I should download some money on the wallet, or maybe I should go to the ATM, and that's not something you want to do because once that starts, it's a very, very slippery slope, and you might be having fun at the time, but man, when you leave that casino later and you realize you lost the money you brought, plus you took more money out of your bank account, it's a bad feeling. Really, really bad. Yeah, plus my wife will kill me, so. What is your typical bankroll? Well, what do you usually eat? I think your bets are usually what, $1.50 to $2.50 or $3 maybe? I do too. I will typically play my free play first and try to convert as much as I can and then play on my bankroll. So that's actually really, really smart. I do the exact same thing. I want to try and keep my bankroll intact as much as possible and just use free play. I actually have a video coming out tomorrow, the day after. I played the new pig game. It's like they're Greek gods or something. There's 3 of them. They got like these clouds that build, and then it turns into like a fast cash hold and spin thing. But there's like snouts and there's piggle noises and pigs that fly, and it's kind of funny to watch. But it's a brutal game to play sometimes because it is really, really hard to hit that bonus. But I used my free play on it 2 weeks ago. I thought it turned out pretty good. So I made a video of it, and that'll be coming out very, very shortly. God, what was the name of that game? I think it's Piggy Power. I believe his name is Piggy Power. But I'm really hoping to get some of the new games in, hopefully before I go to Vegas. The Sir Mix-a-Lot game looks amazing. It looks so cool to watch. Then there's the new Huff and Puff that has 3 bonus symbols. So it's like your typical scam pots where you can get the red jackhammer that removes blockage, sort of like on the high rise game. Huff and Puff high rise will remove a row or so. Then they have a blue time one, like an old timey watch or something. And when you hit that, it actually adds a spin. So it's like getting the 3 hats. But it acts as a house too. So you can get 2 hats in one of those and it'll count as a re-trigger. And then there's the green one, which is the buzzsaw, which works just like the green buzzsaw hat on the high rise builder movie, where it'll flip around and go across or up or down. Another one, 50 cents up to 1% most of the time. I don't. That's extremely smart. Yeah, I would try to do that too. Bet only higher than denominations when I'm on free play. Like when I was in Vegas with Avi, I didn't do it for that video, but after the movie with Avi, as I went back over to Aria and I had like $200 in MGM free play, and I was betting about $3 to $5 a bet just using free play. And that's actually where I converted it, using it over at that was MGM Grand, because I used it on Cherry's Jubilee. It's a dollar machine, but it's a $3 max bet, and I put all of that in there, and I think I cashed out like $150, $55. So not a great conversion, but I got like almost 8 minutes of play on that game and racked up quite a bit of comp points on it. So that was great. It looks a lot of fun. It's crazy. I can't wait to play that. Like that's one of the new ones I absolutely cannot wait to see. That's one where I will walk the casino floor to see if it's there first before I even sit down and play another game. Yeah. She actually made an appearance in our last video for the Jacks. So she had a lot of fun there. God bless her heart. Yeah, you will. I'll make you play that one. But yeah, it's she made an appearance. God bless her heart. We were there for like 7 hours, and by the end of it, I mean, I was down a lot, but I still had some of my bankroll left, and she was just like barely hanging on. So we just called it quits at like midnight. Like, we gotta go. We gotta go home. We gotta go back to the casino. Oh, let's show this one. Yeah, we all have those nights where you just wreck yourself, and yeah, it sucks. I mean, that night a week ago was bad. Like, I walked in with 30 in free play, and I took $60 of my own money, and it was great. I kept getting bonus after bonus. The problem was at Hollywood Casino, they don't let you film. So I was able to kept like 2 or 3 games I could film. I hid my phone as filming, but it was a lot of fun. And then unfortunately, I kind of just lost it. I got a really good hit on a Mo Mummy game. And all of a sudden I was looking at like almost $300 at one point. And then I just pushed my luck. I just kept. Now, part of it was also it was packed, so people were on games I wanted to play. I couldn't play double top dollar; it was completely filled. They had one of the other smoking rooms that was completely full, and half the machines were down, so I couldn't play those. So then I had to go and play on some other weird higher denom games that were available, like the Buffalo Link. It's like, I think it was $5 a press minimum, and it just went fast. I mean, I still got 3 hours of play at the casino, which was fun, but it just was bad. It got away from me. So it always happens. Do you play table games? Yes and no. I don't typically like table games unless it's blackjack. But when I'm in Vegas, I've only really liked playing blackjack downtown. And I think that's because the tables are a lot more lively. You've got some, obviously, people are visiting Vegas, but you also have a lot of people that are locals. So met a bunch of really cool locals. We have fun. Usually at Golden Nugget is where I'll play. That's the casino I like to stay at when I'm downtown. It's $1 to $2 minimum bet. Sometimes it's $5. But with all the side bets, it comes out to be about $6 or $7 a thing. But the dealers there are really cool. A lot of them just their attitudes. I've tried to sit down and play like Caesar's Palace before on a $10 table, and the dealers I just felt just weren't, they were just there. They weren't really accommodating or nice. Now, again, I may have just caught them on a bad night. We all have those. But on the Strip, I just don't like playing there. I find a lot of the tourists, even though that's who I am, a tourist, are just rude and obnoxious. And, it's just one of those things where I would rather just go somewhere where everyone's into having fun. You all know you're not probably going to win, but you should at least be able to have a little bit of fun. I just don't get that there. Started chasing my majors, and I earn a free play based on recycling and wins back in. I try to make sure I can cash out money. Yeah, that is so key. Like, if it's a good point. I mean, if you're up a certain amount of money, you should stop and try to put some money behind. I've been really lucky about the last couple of trips to Vegas where I did that. I found myself down quite a bit and went on a really, like, in January, me and my wife went there for a work trip, or not work. Well, the people I now work with were there, so kind of. But I had a bad night where you were down, I think $600-700, and then she's like, well, I'm going to go to bed. I'm like, well, give me just another hour, and turn up winning like $900 or $800 within a span of like an hour and a half. And I ended up coming back up to the room and taking a good chunk of that money, putting it towards towards coming home. So the last 3 trips, I've always come home with money, usually between 50% and 60% of my money usually comes back with me. And I usually take part of that for shopping or other things. If the kids need something before school, or my wife wants to get some stuff, we'll use that. And then the rest of it goes back into my fund for Vegas. Absolutely agree. Love the Golden Nugget. The rooms, I usually stay in the Rush Tower, but even then, some of the rooms, you can get some bad ones, but they're pretty good. The only thing I don't like is the sound. There are, depending on where you're at in the Rush Tower, it can be in for a long night of sleeping because you just can't. And other nights, it's fine. It's quiet. It's pretty quiet. It is very smart. Now, do I always practice what I preach? No. That's why I thought it was important to do my audits and to tell you guys, hey, this is what really happened to me. I really lost. I was up almost 300 and I came home with $20 in my pocket, because I felt it was important to sort of, as we all show our videos, you do a great job of it too. Your stories that you put on TikTok, excuse me, where you're saying, hey, I lost this, or hey, I did good. You usually tell people exactly how your trip went, and that's like commendable. Not a lot of people would do that, which is sad because I think people should. We do these channels because it's fun. It is a form of entertainment. But I think when people watch some of the other creators out there, especially on YouTube, and I'm not saying a creator on YouTube is bad, I'm just saying that a lot of them typically will just show you these amazing hits. They won't show you like a full run on a machine, where I've tried to do a couple of videos of actual full machine play so you can see how it actually acts. And they kind of hide some of their, oh, I did great. And you really don't know if they did. So I wanted to make sure that as I film and as I play, I can try and do what I can to show everybody that, there is a way to have fun, but don't go watching these vlogs or watching these videos and seeing people hitting massive bonuses and just think, well, shit, it looks pretty easy. I could do that. And then all of a sudden, the person with that mentality is not going to have the same safeguards in place, and they may gamble money they should never have gambled, and then they're in a really bad spot. Thank you, honey. I appreciate that. It is key. It is key, especially for us on these channels, because I think it builds a rapport with the people who do take the time to subscribe and watch our videos, to where, like, my videos are very low, 75 cents, maybe $1 a spin, but that's because that's how I gamble. I will push my luck only after I start winning quite a bit, and it does happen, but I try to keep it low enough to where that 1 or 2% rule, can I get 100, 150 spins out of this to see if it's something I actually want to keep playing? How are the bonuses? What does the paybacks look like on this, as far, not by percentage, but like, if I do get a bunch of line hits, am I getting most of my bet back or all of it, or am I getting like none of it back? So I can feel it out, because you can never sit down a machine and do 5, 10, 15 polls and go, okay, I know this machine's probably going to do. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think a lot of us should, in this space, try to do more of what's actually what gambling is actually like, how much fun it absolutely is, but at the same time, it can be brutal. You can still have fun and lose a lot of money, and it's kind of this weird dichotomy of, I had a lot of fun tonight and I was there for 3, 4, 5 hours, and when you think about it, if you go to a professional or even a college football or basketball game, and after snacks and parking and being there, it's like, what, $300-$400 most of the time for a ticket, unless it's like in the nosebleeds. But this is entertainment. But I want to make sure people realize that you have to have those safeguards in place. You have to make sure you're watching your bankroll. You have to make sure that you're putting some of your winnings behind. I don't think there's a cookie cutter answer as far as how much of your winnings should you put in. I think that's dependent on you. If you're someone who's there for the entertainment value, then, if you come home with half of your money, that's a pretty good night, especially for me. If I could come home with half my money, that's a great trip for me, especially if I've got 2, 3, 4 hours or plus more of actual entertainment. If you're someone that's looking to make a profit going, I would say then don't go. Never go to the casino. If you're someone who just wants to gamble on that, get some lottery scratch offs. The odds are close to the same. And you're just someone who wants instant gratification, so do that. Never go thinking you're going to win something. Never bet over your head for sure, and definitely don't use bill money. Oh, yeah. Completely agree. That's probably a lot of why I didn't gamble a lot in my 30s. 3 kids, a wife, a house, 2 cars. Sometimes you just didn't have the money to go. I wanted to, but unfortunately, real life sort of needs to happen first. Take care of people there, and then you can go. Just in the last 5 or 6 years, I've been able to sort of go to the local casino at least quite a bit, and then also be able to go back to Vegas a few times every year. I just started this year, and I definitely watched a ton of videos and try to learn. And the best strategy is managing. I do too. Believe it or not, I got into Gamble Smart, Gamble Safe was a channel I started watching about a year and a half ago because I thought I was always good at it. I thought, I had previous trips and I did pretty good, and I come home with $400 or $500 every once in a while, but there are certain things pointed out to me that even I wasn't doing that I could have been doing better. And like I said, I still mess it up even now. So I think we're all a work in progress for gambling, meaning we're never going to be perfect. We're never going to go to the casino and execute this plan perfectly every single time. There's always going to be something that happens, whether maybe I drank just a little bit too much, or maybe I was having a lot of fun, and I just said, fuck it, let's just play. But I think the key thing there is, I think I've talked to you about that too in some of your videos when you felt down about it, was don't beat yourself up about it. Like, it's okay to sort of look at yourself in the mirror and go, that was really, really stupid, Sean. You should never have done that. You were up. You've been in this position before where you've said to yourself, I'm never going to do this again, and you did it again. But after you've had that conversation, then just stop and just shrug it off, and then just go, well, next time I'll do better. And most of the time I do, but sometimes I slip. We're all showing our age, which sucks. Yeah, and if you are someone, I completely agree with that. If you are someone that you go to the casino, especially after a really rough day, and it's just to decompress, it's just for fun, you probably would spend that money on a couple of movie tickets, popcorn, sodas, eating out. So you would have spent it anyway. Then, yeah, I agree. Some of my favorite casino trips have been where you go and maybe you're not winning, maybe you're maintaining a little bit or even losing, but you're sort of in a control loss, meaning you're staying in the games a little bit longer. You're not getting a bonus to get you all the way back up, but you're not losing all the way down. And there's people next to you that are hitting bonuses. And so you're like cheering them on, and then you finally get into a bonus and they stop and they cheer you on. And I think there should be more of that. And I think if you have the opportunity to have a night like that where you're not necessarily making new friends, but you're sharing in their excitement, you're sharing in their experience as well, I think is one of those rare things in the casino that none of us really do a lot of. So I think that, it is okay when, you've been playing this game over and over again, and someone sits down at the machine next to you and they hit that freaking first spin bonus, and you're like, you just want to go, fuck, what, I mean, where's my bonus? But I think if you just sort of look at it like, well, shoot, do you mind if I watch your bonus? I mean, that was freaking awesome that you just pulled that off on a one spin. Do you mind if I watch? And then, you high five them when they get like a huge, massive hit. You're like, oh my God, that's amazing. If you do stuff like that, I think it sort of, at the very least, brings a little bit of good karma to you. And in that way, everyone's in a good mood. No one's thinking like, the worst thing to do is to try to someone and go, fuck, I wanted a bonus like that. You lucky son of a, just don't do that. Fun coupons. I like that. Actually, I really like that. Fun coupons. That's a good way to look at it. It's those little Tito tickets, fun coupon. I do like that. We should all be using now on the term fun coupons. Well, okay. So 45 minutes, not bad. I mean, would have liked to have more, just a couple people in here, but hopefully maybe more people do watch. Like I said, this is going to be a weekly thing every Sunday, probably go live for 45 minutes to an hour. Just as a chance for me to talk to you guys and to answer your questions as well. I don't know everything. I want to try and answer as much as I can, and then at least get the answers for you. So I will be doing some more videos on volatility and VLTs, which are the video lottery terminals. They work differently. Even do class twos, which I don't know a lot of. Most of us have never seen them. Typically, they're on casinos run by Indian reservations. There are some that are not run by Indian reservations out in Indiana that do work off of bingo. So I'll do some on that. There are others will run on HHR, which is historic horse racing. They use historical data from horse races to put them all together, and it creates randomness based off of that algorithm. I don't know exactly how it works, so it'll probably be a good couple months before I do a video on it, because I'm still reaching out to other people in the industry to try and get answers on it, because that's one that I don't play. I think the closest one that has that is south of Lexington, which is about a 3-hour drive for me. So not really super wanting to drive 3 hours during winter to go sit at a casino that's HHR and try to learn how it works. Maybe this spring or summer I'll go for a quick 2-day trip to see how they play out and do some videos on the place. But like I said, if you have anything, yeah. Oh, thank you. It means a lot that the two of you are in here, sort of playing around back and forth, asking me questions and talking. I think it's going to get me more confident in this space as far as putting myself out there and doing things like that. Road trip. Okay. Everyone, you've heard it here first. She said yes to that. So when I do another video about me losing money, you can thank my wife for that. Yeah. Yeah. Wintertime in Ohio is brutal. I do want to go to the Jack at the end of November. Depending on my work typically shuts down for a couple of weeks. So I would like to go in November. Usually the day after Thanksgiving, just because that way I can go Friday, go live and come back, but it's going to be dependent on weather. If it's super snowy and it's just ice everywhere, I don't want to be in Cleveland during that part. I've driven through Cleveland during the ice and snow before. It's not fun. So we'll have to wait and see, but I would like to go live one more time to see how that goes. And we'll go from there. So, I know. Oh, I'll go shopping. Well, with what winnings? I hope it's mild winter for you guys. I'll see what for it. Okay, thank you for rubbing that in. I appreciate it. I'm sure my wife appreciates that too. Yeah, we're all jealous. Florida. Yeah, I would give that up. I would give a balmy 65 over 20 degree below zero and you can't leave your house for 3 days. I would take 45 degrees over that any day, but it's Ohio, you get used to it. So, all right. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it short. We're getting close to almost an hour. I really appreciate the two of you. My wife, big shout out to her. She has been probably one of my biggest fans for putting up with my shenanigans on going to the casino quite often, putting up with a lot of the losing days, and then sort of the hours that it takes away me editing videos and sitting down doing these things where I really probably should be doing other things. But I do want to say out here so everybody can see, thank you, Kendra. I appreciate that. Beach Bum, I appreciate your stuff as well. You have also been very, very good at supporting some of my comments and stuff on TikTok. I think I probably wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for some of you guys out there. Beach Bum, Casino Jackpot, Casino Annie, Detroit Low Rollers, you guys as well. Just because it's kind of a fun community over there where we all sort of promote each other's videos and comment on them and try and push the algorithm for each other. It's meant a lot to me. So like I said, if anyone later on is watching this live and you feel like dropping comments for the next one, or if you are coming in later and you do have a smaller YouTube channel, please feel free to drop in your comments the link to your actual to your channels, whether it's here or TikTok. Again, the point of this channel is for me to interact with you guys. And really, my goal is to see you guys get a little bit bigger too. Best morning actor. I should make you the front person for that. Oh, looks like you're getting another subscriber. That'll work. But yeah, so again, thank you to everybody. Hopefully next week we'll have a little bit more people in here. I think Avi had to do something tonight, so he could not make it. But hopefully more people jump in. If not, then we'll probably just do a quick touch base. I will put together a list of some new stuff coming to Vegas. There are a couple more things I could have announced, but I'm waiting on final confirmation. I had the host back in Caesars. They had a couple things that I thought was going to happen in December and January, but it's sort of up in the air. So as soon as I get confirmation back from her, I'll be able to add a couple of things to an update for next week. So, but thank you guys all for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you do want to see more of this. And hopefully I'll see you guys next Sunday at 7:30. We'll do another quick roundtable. So think of any questions you might want for next week. I'll be more than happy to do that. Again, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you guys all have a good night. Bye.